If you're human and you're working, you have work relationships. You may not want to think of them as relationships, but they are. And if you don't work on them, just like your personal relationships, things can go sour and make your life difficult. Can you do anything about that? Do you want to do anything about that? Today on Zippy Point.
Quick Zips by Zippy Point.
Quick and dirty. I'm Brock Romanek, and I'm a big fan of yous. So the first thing to do is acknowledge that they are relationships indeed. And for better or worse, you don't get to choose who you're in a work relationship with. They just happen to be. Unless you happen to be in charge and you can hire and fire the staff. But if you are the boss, you actually have more of an obligation, a burden to make the relationships work. You have business pressures to make it work, legal limitations about how you can interact. So for purposes of this Vid-Guide, let's say you have a bad relationship with some of your work colleagues. It could be one person. It could be an entire department. Maybe you started off on the wrong foot. That can be hard to recover from. Maybe someone rubs you the wrong way, or you rub them the wrong way. That happens too. Or as so often happens, maybe you have no idea why it's not working out. You just don't know. So how do you fix it? I don't pretend to be an expert here. I'm just providing this Vid-Guide as food for thought. Let me know what you think. But I say you have 4 things to consider. The first one is investigate confirmation bias. Be aware of a bias that you might have. We all have them that you can confirm to yourself. Be aware of it. I blogged about this on my mindfulness blog, realgoodfresh.com, and it's real. We all have our biases. And I'm not talking necessarily about racial bias, gender bias, although that may well be the case for you, for us. But you want to be honest in your analysis. Did I give this person a fair chance? Did they give me a fair chance? Think about that too. And then write down your thoughts, journal about them to help you see more clearly about this. 2, try compassion. First, be compassionate with yourself. Nothing is perfect. We are not perfect. It is what it is. You start from there, and then you move forward. You try to make things better. You're consciously trying to improve. Think about your interactions with this person. Are you tense physically going in? We can sense others with our instincts if others are tense, that they're cringing. Body language, nonverbal communication is the bulk of how humans interact, how we communicate. So make sure your body is nice and loose going in, that you're smiling. That makes a huge difference too. So try going in with a fresh attitude, a beginner's mind, and try compassion with your next conversation. Bring them a surprise, bring them a snack. Try to make them laugh. Be conscious about that. Notice if that starts to chip away at the walls that may have built up over time. 3, the honest conversation. So this is a tough one, perhaps not realistic for you, for them. Many of us would rather avoid a situation for years and years rather than bring it out in the open and have the honest conversation. I am definitely one of those people at times. I can think of a good friendship right now that I have teetering on the edge because I harbor some most likely imagined grudge and would rather hold on to that than have an honest conversation with that friend. And I might lose a friend because of that. And that's with a friend. It can be so much harder to do that kind of thing with someone that you work with, someone that you're not necessarily personally invested in. But maybe if you try it, you'll be surprised at the results, and it may become a habit for you, a routine thing that you do at work. Of course, the honest conversation can backfire. For one, you have to watch what you say. This is a workplace after all, and there's decorum to consider, perhaps some legal limitations to where you go with this thing. And if the other person isn't mentally ready, maybe they're not equipped mentally, emotionally to join you down this journey, down this path, it likely isn't going to end well. So if you're daring, I would start by being careful first, just broaching the topic of being honest for a minute, not pressuring them to do it, not just launching into it without their permission. And go into it with the backdrop of being honest yourself. This means about being honest about your own role in the relationship. That's the only way this type of thing is going to work. It takes 2 people to have a relationship, and there's stories from either side that we are both telling ourselves. Number 4, ask for a transfer. Okay, this is, I know, the easy way out. Well, easy in terms of avoiding the relationship. Hard on your career. Sometimes you just know it ain't going to work. First, you're going to see if you can find a way to make it work, make it palatable, figure out whether it's possible to survive mentally in the situation that you're in, because circumstances do change over time. That person might leave themselves voluntarily or get transferred out themselves, or maybe financially you just can't swing it, or you just can't get another job at this point, or or another job within the organization you're working in or outside. So you really do want to try to work on that broken relationship first before you fall to pieces and it calls for drastic measures. Anyways, let me know what you think.